Welcome to the Hormone Hub, your go-to source for the conversations every woman in her 40s and 50s needs to have. I'm your host, Kylie Pinwell, your nutritionist helping you navigate your way through perimenopause, menopause and beyond so you can say goodbye to the endless fatigue, unexplained weight gain, hot flushes, PMS, mood changes and more that come on this hormonal roller coaster. If you missed the memo or think this is only for women of a certain age, ladies, it's time to think again. Now sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my latest episodes, which are released every week. Share it with your friends, your sweaty sisters. The more we talk, the more we help each other. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hormone Hub. It's Kylie here, and today I am very excited to have a special guest, a good friend of mine and colleague, Pam Hird. So Pam's a naturopath. She has the Pam Hird Naturopathy Clinic in Brighton. I've probably got that wrong. In Brighton, in Brisbane. And yeah, so Pam and I have worked together before. So Pam was actually the beautiful clinician who plucked me out of burnout, way back in the day. And Pam sort of really specialises in, that stress, fatigue, burnout that a lot of women go through. So I've been there. I know lots of you are there now. And, this is really something that we want to, talk to you. What are the warning signs? What do we need to look out for? And then what do we need to do as well? So welcome, Pam.
Thanks very much for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. So Pam, tell us, what sort of women, do you see in your clinic? What are they coming in with?
Yeah, so I see a lot of women with stress and fatigue concerns, and majority of them actually come in and think, oh, my hormones are out of whack, your sex hormones. And I go, that's actually not what's causing your problem right now. And then obviously explain the stress response to them and how our adrenals function. And then they go, oh, that makes a lot of sense now.
Oh, yeah. And would you like to just jump in and, explain that to us, how it works?
Yeah. So when we lead a busy lifestyle or we have a stressful event in our lives, what happens is our adrenal glands, so they sit on top of the kidneys and they secrete cortisol. So cortisol is our main stress hormone. So when we are stressed, lots of cortisol will be released from the body. And then over time, if we're sitting in that busyness or that stressful period, our body can't sustain sitting in that high cortisol. So then you can start to notice that you get a little bit tired, maybe your sleep's disrupted, you start to gain a little bit of weight, your mood goes a bit all over the shop, you're a bit irritable and agitated, and it can throw out your digestion. I mean, there's so many different symptoms that can actually happen for you when you are in that kind of state. So, some people can sit in that state for months or years. Other people, it happens, it goes through a lot quicker. So it just really depends on the person and how well you can actually tolerate that amount of stress in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing that sort of, blows me away, because I have conversations with women every day about this, is women have this extraordinary capacity to push through and, deal with what we have to deal with. And, we and I talk about this a lot, we do all the things, we're exhausted, we're tired, but we just keep going. And then, because we need to lose weight, so we'll go to the gym.
Yeah, so I think because particularly if you have a family, we're always the last one. So we don't actually make ourselves a priority. We actually prioritise everybody else in our family, but not ourselves. So it's really coming back to, making sure that you are eating breakfast and not just having a coffee and running out the door and, dropping kids at school or racing to work or, first thing in the morning going to the gym, hoping that you are going to lose that weight. But you're actually doing your body a massive disservice by doing some of that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And I, that's it. I'm too busy to eat breakfast. I don't feel like breakfast. I haven't eaten breakfast for 20 years. So one of the first things I get to, these women to do is like, okay, breakfast within, half an hour to an hour of waking up is a non-negotiable. And it's funny that, 100% of the time, everyone feels better afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Because you go back to that whole stress response and you need food to help with that. Coffee actually is trying to stimulate your adrenal glands and make you produce all that cortisol and adrenaline. So you're actually putting more load onto the body. What we're trying to do is take the load off. So that's why we tell you to eat.
Yes, 100%. So it's not just me, it's Pam as well. And then on the exercise front, okay, so just so everybody knows, Pam knows what I'm going to say here. When I first met Pam, this sort of blew my mind. I got very excited, and I'm very proud to know an ex-hockey ruse. So Pam played hockey for Australia. So at that high level, of sport, and that sort of being that driven, must train, must exercise, and there's a lot of women that I work with. Okay, we've not all, played sport for Australia. However, we are kind of, just driven, and we've got that drive because we're used to pushing ourselves hard at the gym. We're used to, that go hard, go home kind of mentality. So what's your take on that, Pam?
So it really depends on where the person is sitting. But if the person is extremely exhausted, so this person's waking up tired, they might feel okay around 10 a.m. and then come to like that 2 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon, they're really slumping. I will tell them not to exercise, because exercise is actually another form of stress. Okay, so maybe I should rephrase that. I don't tell them to stop exercising, so they can do low impact. So if you were to do a nice gentle yoga, go for a gentle walk, go for a bike ride with your kids, that's okay. But anything high intensity where you can't hold a conversation with the person next to you is out.
Yeah, perfect. And yes, I do recall you telling me to stop running. 10K runs every morning was not the thing. And you know what? I've never actually gone back to it. I've done the odd little runs here and there, but I can actually now feel it in my body. I can feel that stress response happen in my body when I run. So for me, I know it feels like butterflies. Or if I've had too much coffee, I get that jittery kind of feeling, and I'm like, oh, no, body's not happy. So that's my excuse.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to it.
Stick to it, it's fine.
Yep, that's me done with the running.
And I think I love exercise, right? And sometimes I even have to pull myself up because I do CrossFit. I will put that out there. So I do a lot of high intensity exercise. But even for times with me, in times of busyness or quite stressful periods, I actually pull back in what I do too, because I know my body can't handle it. Yeah. And for me, it's the fatigue in the afternoon and the sugar. The
100%.
Sugar stuff.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm the same. So the way I sort of work with clients is, exactly what you said. I want you to move your body. Yeah, I really don't care what you do, but if, that high intensity exercise is going to leave you flatlined on the couch, or, you madly scrambling for the carbs, the sugar, just to pick yourself up, we know that that's a little bit of a warning flag there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So sometimes it can be just a little bit of a mindset change as well, because, it's very old school that the harder you work, the more you burn. That's not necessarily the case, right? So it's more complex than that. So we need to get out of that old school kind of thinking, and also the fact that, getting on the scales and that number is everything, that it doesn't define who you are. So I think, just changing that around as well is really important.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. And I think, to reframe health, like it used to be, eat less, move more, exercise, all of that sort of stuff. Whereas now it's sort of, I really encourage clients to how do you feel within your body? Did that food that you just ate, does that make you feel light? Does that make you feel energized, nourished? Or do you feel really depleted and you're scrounging for something else later on? And likewise with exercise, does it leave you flatlined on the couch, or does it leave you feeling okay? So
so I had a conversation, just to sideline a little bit, about a lemon and maple diet that they wanted to do. So it's a crazy fad diet where you drink lemon water and maple syrup, right? No,
What could go
no
wrong?
crazy diet. I know, right?
Yeah.
No crazy diets. Because on the nutrition side of things, if you don't actually feel your body right, it will make you feel 1,000 times worse than what you are feeling right now. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes back to, the energy levels is there's so many women who just aren't eating enough. So, we kind of got this mental 1,200 calories to lose weight but we just need more than that. Or, for the love of all things carbs, can we just stop with the keto, please?
100% agree with you.
It comes down, the quality of your carbs, ladies, not the, not the actual carb itself. There was one sort of chick I was sort of looking at on Instagram. It did make me laugh, because she's sort of saying, oh, well, fruit is so good for you, but you shouldn't really eat it. So if you ferment it, it's okay. And I'm just like, what? Can we just eat the banana, please? She just made something so simple, 2 or 3 pieces of fruit a day is fine. You're getting your fiber, you're getting your nutrients, you're getting, all your antioxidants, your polyphenols, like all your good stuff. You don't need to make it more complicated, than that. You don't need to go and ferment your food to get rid of the sugar in your fruit. But yeah, I did laugh and I just went, okay, well, that's a new one.
It's like you say, it's this perfect little package, but remembering as well that your stress response needs carbohydrates to help it function properly. Yep. So, that's why when you, not only your stress response, but there's other systems within the body as well. And I'm sure you can appreciate and have seen when people eliminate carbohydrates and do a keto, they lose their period.
Yep.
So you need carbohydrates for a healthy period as well. So that, there's so many different things that can actually go wrong when you start to just get rid of things altogether. But yes, it also comes down to portions.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, we cannot, drink the wine in the bottle and say we've had grapes.
I know.
Pam and I were laughing about this before. Wine doesn't count. But definitely, it's particularly if weight loss is a goal, portions, do matter. But one thing I've sort of noticed with carbs and energy and, that stress response is also the knock-on impact, particularly for ladies that I work with in their 40s and 50s, is the impact it has on thyroid too. So, and this is where you need those carbs to support your stress response and support your thyroid as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But the other thing is majority of women, particularly all over the world, aren't getting enough protein. So I think, making sure that we're having that good quality protein. And if you're not a meat eater, then protein combining properly. So in the sense of, remembering that meat is a complete protein, and then you do need to combine either like lentils or rice to get a complete protein in relation to that. Because a lot of people go, oh, I'm not going to eat meat. I'm like, well, that's great. But then you have to be very organized in how you are going to get your nutrition throughout the day as well.
Yeah, 100%. And that's it. You can be healthy on a plant-based diet, but you just do need to work a bit harder, be aware of, where your protein's coming from, but also, where your iron's coming from, where your zinc's coming from, where your B vitamins are coming from. So it's, women who are lacking in energy and low in energy are often also low in iron, zinc, B vitamins, so while you're, being on a plant-based diet might be a good idea. And, I'm sure Pam is with me when we say, we should all be eating more plants, 100%. But, you just do need to work a bit harder and, be a bit more mindful. And I think that's where, the help of seeing a nutritionist or a naturopath can 100% help, because, you don't just give up meat. You've got to, know where you're putting that back into.
Yeah, particularly like from that weight loss as well, you need that protein to help keep you fuller for longer, stabilize your blood sugar levels, all of that stuff, and be a flow-on effect to the energy, like you said. So it is really important to have a look at your diet.
Certainly. This Hormone Hub episode is sponsored by my popular workshop, which is now available on demand, The Ultimate Guide to Balancing Your Hormones. If you're constantly feeling tired, struggling with weight gain, PMS, mood swings, bloating, not sleeping at night, cravings, anxiety, blah, 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 all the things, these are all frustrating signs of a hormonal imbalance, and I'm ready to help. In this free masterclass, I explain what causes this hormone imbalance and, most importantly, what you can do about it. I'll give you some awesome practical solutions so you can ditch those sugar cravings, regain your energy, and shift that stubborn weight that's been growing around your middle. The link with all the details is on our show notes or over at kyliepinwell.com. So Pam, what would you say to our low-fat ladies, so our skinny latte ladies?
I would say go back to full fat, purely because you're stripping away different nutrients that the fat has in it, your fat soluble vitamins, and also keeping in mind that there is a lot of sugar sometimes put into those low-fat products to make them taste better.
So what sort of fats would you have our ladies look at?
So I would look at more the good fats as opposed to like potentially dairy. Some people upset dairies, but thinking like avocado, olive oil, olives, chia seeds, salmon, tuna. Add some of those fats into your diet, because remembering your brain's really rich in DHEA as well. So you need that to help with your mood, memory, and weight too. So
absolutely. And the fats is what makes your hormones and transports your hormones through your body. So for you to be well and feel well, ladies, we need to eat well.
Yeah. I mean, fat is for every cell in the body, isn't it? So it's really, really important. Yeah.
I know. The low-fat industry has a lot to answer for, and they should all hang their heads in shame for putting us through that for 20 years.
It's just really good marketing. It's just like the 5-star rating and that rubbish as well, right?
Oh, I know. So always read your labels, ladies. We want real food ingredients, and we want to make sure, if you're reading the ingredients on something, if it's got a 5-star rating, for the love of all things, turn it over, read the ingredients. If it sounds like real food, it's real food. If it sounds like a science experiment, it's a science experiment. Okay. All right, Pam. So, for our stressed out, burnt out sort of ladies, let's just recap. What are the top 3 things that you would recommend?
So the first thing that I'd get them to do is to slow down.
Yep.
It's really important that we still don't do that go, go, go lifestyle and actually bring our body back into a calm state. So, doing that can vary from person to person. You might like to do yoga. You might like to do meditation. I mean, for me, my meditation is actually my exercise, where I go and completely clear my mind, lose count of how many I'm supposed to be doing, and think, oh my God, is that 40 or 50? So, anything along those lines, but just
I'd go with 50 every time.
Yeah, 50, that's right. But anything that just helps you slow down.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And then the second thing that I would say is make sure you're getting some good quality sleep.
Yes. Yep.
Sleep is extremely important for every single system in the body. I mean, it was used as a form of torture. So, sleep deprivation creates all kinds of problems for us. So we really want to be making sure that we're going to bed before 10 p.m. And then sleeping all through the night and then waking up feeling okay. I mean, you won't to start off with, but you want to gradually get that better. And you want to be consistent with that nighttime routine. I understand sometimes it'll be thrown out, but your body does like to go to bed at the same time and get up at the same time. So we can try and have a solid routine there as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And I know sleep's a huge issue, and that's a whole other podcast, I think. Actually, that's a great topic for next time.
Yeah. And then obviously you want to, there's probably a couple of other things, like look at where the stress is coming from in your life and look at trying to reduce that down. So maybe that falls back into the slowing down part. But then also you want to be looking at your diet too. So how much coffee are you having, looking at, your fruit and vegetables, good quality protein, good quality carbohydrates. Are you drinking enough water? All of the basic stuff that we want to make sure that we're actually doing in relation to our diet, because it does. I mean, you eat shit, you feel shit. You eat better, you feel better. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. We all know what healthy eating looks like, But for whatever reason, to actually do it, and once we get in the swing of doing it and we realize how good we feel, and I notice with like my ladies, and we might have taken them off bread, taken them off pasta, their bloating's better, their energy's better. And then sometimes they slide back into that and they notice straight away. So sometimes to check back in and just go, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I don't eat those foods.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think with your diet, don't overcomplicate it, like you've already said, right? It's really easy to get overwhelmed with it. So I always say when it comes to your diet, if you're struggling with changing a few things, just pick 3, master those 3, and then move on to the next.
Yeah. No, that's really great advice. Okay. All right, Pam. So what I'll do, I'm going to pop Pam's details in the show notes. So if you are in the Brighton area, if you are, around that area in Brisbane, Pam is available for consults. Is she yet? She's nodding. She's going, yes, she is. So I'll have Pam's clinic details in the show notes for you. Any final words of wisdom?
Yeah, I think don't aim for perfection, right? With anything. I think, be kind to yourself when you're going through this process, because it's really easy to think about where you are right now and forget about how far you've come, when you're trying to change things. So, yeah, just be gentle on yourself, and it is a journey. So if things don't move all at once, it's okay. Just keep chipping away at it.
Absolutely. Yep. That consistency over perfection every single time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Pam. And we will have you back on the show. Absolutely. With plenty more to talk about.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Pam. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. You can head on over to the show notes at kyliepinwell.com/podcast, where you'll find all the links, and I have a little bonus surprise waiting for you. Before we go, it would mean the world to me if you head on over to your favourite podcasts channel, subscribe and leave a review. Make sure to screenshot it, DM it to me so I can thank you personally. Then stay tuned for next week's episode. Can't wait to see you then.